Yo, what's up? Gears here. Welcome to my 2023 updated Guardian Tales Beginner's Guide. So what should you do as a beginner in Guardian Tales? The main thing you should focus on as a beginner is the main story. By clearing the main story, you can get access to bountiful rewards, as well as increasing your hero's level cap, which is the most basic part of progression. A lot of beginner players tend to rush through the story mode, then later on complain when the stages get too difficult, particularly on Worlds 11 and up. You do not need to rush through the story. If you find the stage too difficult, it is very likely that your heroes are not built well enough for the stage, and when this happens, the best thing to do is to clear other content such as towers, or grind the rift to get stronger. The rift is where you would spend most of your stamina in the late game, but it's definitely fine to grind it early on if you're struggling to clear stages. For beginners, it is recommended to spend most of your stamina in the evolution dungeon. Evolving your heroes is essential for getting them to their full potential. You can clear the resource dungeons and progress to the higher stages, getting extra gems in the process. However, it is not recommended for beginners to sweep a single stage repeatedly, since their stamina is better spent on evolution dungeons, and the gold and XP obtainable from resource dungeons can be obtained there as well. You also get a daily 2x boost on any dungeon, except for the Awakening dungeon 10 times a day. So if you're not in a rush to clear the story, it is a good idea to farm the evolution dungeon at least 10 times a day. As for the Awakening dungeon, you can get 3 free runs every day. Definitely use all 3 entries daily, since Awakening Stones are a very scarce resource and is very in demand even in the late game. As you progress through the story, you will unlock different new features and game modes such as the Guardian Base Camp, the Farm, Training Room, the Merch Forge, Expedition, and more. However, those are pretty much self-explanatory, so I will not go in depth into those right now. Now let's move on to resources. As with other gacha games, Guardian Tales has a variety of different currencies, each with different functions. In this section, I will explain all the currency, where to get them, and more importantly, how to spend them efficiently. Let's begin with the 3 most basic ones that are displayed on the top right corner of the main screen. The first one is Stamina, also commonly referred to as Coffee. It is the energy system of the game. You get 1 stamina every 10 minutes as long as you do not reach the maximum limit. Your stamina can exceed the maximum limit by claiming coffee from other sources, but by doing so, it will no longer refill automatically. Therefore, it is recommended to never let it reach the cap, and spend it on either story, tower, or rifts before you stop playing the game. Second, we have Gold. Gold is a common resource that you can get on almost any content, be it story, towers, or miscellaneous rifts. Gold is mainly used to upgrade equipment such as weapons and accessories. I do not recommend beginners to farm the gold dungeon other than clearing the stages for the first time. However, gold dungeon farming is important in the end game for magic metal farming, which will be discussed later on. Last in this category is gems. It is the gacha currency and therefore is best used in the gacha. You can get gems from clearing certain stages for the first time or from doing achievements. You can also earn a decent amount of gems passively every week by doing multiplayer content such as Colosseum, Co-op, Arena, and Guild Raids. Gems can also be used to purchase costumes in the shop. Unlocking certain costume sets will be crucial in the endgame for maximizing your stats, so do not worry too much about spending gems on costumes that you like. Dream Evolution Stone. This currency is mainly obtained through events. It is used to buy Hero Evolution Stones in the Hero Growth Shop. Other than that, it has no other purpose, so feel free to spend it to speed up the evolution of a unique hero that you are building. Star pieces are mainly obtained in the story, though you can obtain additional ones in other contents. It is used for upgrading high-level buildings in Heavenhold, though you will have plenty of leftovers even after maxing out every building, so feel free to use the rest to buy the high-grade evolution stone boxes. Hero crystals are a very scarce currency that are mainly used to limit break your heroes. Do not use hero crystals to buy anything else. Hero crystals should be used for limit breaking heroes and that alone. You can mainly get hero crystals for getting dupe heroes in the gacha, but you can also get some additional ones for exchanging evolution stones of heroes you've already maxed out. Magic metals are mainly obtained by doing weapon summons. Magic metal is to be spent in the mileage shop. The 300 magic metal epic exclusive equipment box is always worth it, so be sure to buy that once a month. It is also worth buying the legend boxes if you have enough for those. Aside from those, the epic limit breaking hammer is the main thing that you should be buying with magic metals. Mileage is the game's pity system, and you generally get 1 mileage per summon. You can also get a few extra mileage from events. This is probably one of the best pity systems out of any gacha game, since it allows you to get any gacha hero or weapon that you want, excluding the ones that are from limited collaboration runs. It is best used to get the exclusive weapon of a hero you already own, or vice versa. Though if you want to spend 600 mileage to get a hero you really want, go ahead. Just make sure to do your research about the unit and make sure it's not a decision that you will regret. Battle medals are mainly obtained in PvP and raid contents. With it, you can buy a lot of top tier items such as the Minotaur Shield, Mad Panda Brooch, and Minotaur Necklace. This is also the most consistent method for gaining option lockstones, but I don't recommend buying this as a beginner since battle medals are difficult to obtain. Bottle caps are only obtained by playing Camazone. It is recommended to spend these on hero crystals and awakening stones that reset every month. If you have spare ones, you can buy costumes as well. I do not recommend the Aegis Shield since it's barely any better than the Minotaur Shield and it's much more difficult to farm. Option Change Stone can be obtained through events and are used to change the stats on your weapons and accessories. This is a very scarce resource and there isn't a good consistent way to get these, so I do not recommend using them until you get enough option lock stones to use together with it. The ones obtainable with magic metals in the shop is the most consistent way to get these, though you can only get 10 per month and magic metals aren't a common resource especially in the early game. Option lock stones are used in tandem with option change stones to prevent certain stats from changing after an option change. I recommend only using this on stats that are already 100% perfect. Like option change stones, these are very difficult to obtain, the most consistent way being the battle medal shop. But then again, battle medals are not an abundant resource and it is not recommended to get this until relatively late into the game. There are some other resources that I will not discuss, but the rest are either too niche or very self-explanatory, so I would rather not get into too much detail. Now for the next part of the guide, let's discuss the heroes that are recommended for beginners. Though it is perfectly fine to just play whatever hero you want, there are some players that want to get the broken heroes. So here are some of the heroes that are very useful for beginners. Number 1. Future Princess. If you get her, the story mode is now easy peasy. And it's not even a matter if you get her, but when you get her. You can get the Future Princess for free in the World Clear Pass after clearing World 9. However, you will not get her full potential unless you get her exclusive weapon. If you're watching this video during the 3rd anniversary banner, you can try getting her exclusive weapon there, or just buy it with mileage if you don't. Number 2. Claude. Probably the most versatile unit in the game, this man can single-handedly carry you in every single content in the game. Just like Future Princess, Claude and his exclusive weapon will be available during the 3rd anniversary rate of banners. Number 3. Camel. Damage, sustain, team healing, this old man has it all. Camel is one of the best PvE units in the game. Unfortunately, Camel is not available in the anniversary banners, but if you're watching this in the future and Camel is in there, you can never go wrong with the old man. Number 4. Yunha. The new hero released in the 3rd anniversary is referred to by a lot of players as Camel on steroids. She can do pretty much everything that Camel does, arguably even better, though she does have less sustain than Camel, and her exclusive weapon skill is not as good for PvE, which is why I believe Camel is still better for beginners. Number 5. Karina. Karina is a rare unit that you can get in World 1 for free. With the Hero Ascension system, you can turn Karina into the best healer in the game, though her party buff is quite limiting. Mia is more versatile in terms of team building, and you get her for free in the 3rd anniversary. But if you're watching this in the future and you can no longer get Mia, definitely consider building Karina if you're in desperate need of a healer. So let's say you already finished the main story. Now what? After finishing the story, it's finally time to uninstall the game. Oh, you did not uninstall the game? Okay, prepare yourself for some grinding. There are generally two types of players in Guardian Tales, the raid slaves and the arena enjoyers. The main difference between the two are the types of heroes that you will want to build, but in either case, you would want to be as strong as possible and start grinding for stats. Keep in mind that this is not a fast process, and to reach a competitive level on either mode, you will have to be grinding for months or even years. The main thing to do in the endgame is to improve your book collection. The level of your collection defines the difference between a newbie, a veteran player, and a whale. You will need to spend your gems in completing these costume collections, and spend time farming the item dungeon to look for lower tier weapons that you do not yet have. Keep in mind that you will need to upgrade every weapon to level 60, which will require quite a lot of hammers and gold. For the hero collections, you will have to max evolve every unique hero in your collection, and max awaken everything including rares. Limit break nodes not included. It is also recommended to get the normal rarity heroes to 4 stars and max their awakening nodes. Aside from book collections, you will also want to max limit break your weapons, which are more expensive than maxing out the hero. To do this, you need to farm for magic metals and buy the epic limit breaking hammers in the shop. Farming magic metals involve repeatedly farming the gold and item dungeons, upgrading the items to 5-star, then extracting them for 30 magic metals each. This is a very tedious process, and you can roughly max out one weapon per month if you spend all of your stamina into it. Option changing your items are also something that is recommended to start in the late game once you already got everything else from the Battle Metal shop. That's going to conclude this video. I hope you find it useful and good luck on your journey, Guardian.